we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud. Shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right, folks. Order now. Head over to mypillow.com. Check out all the great things they have. Christmas is coming, guys. Get your stuff on order now so you don't have to be doing last-minute shopping. And once again, it helps us here at the Oreo Express. We appreciate you using mypillow.com. It's great to have a partnership with Mike Lindell and his company with a great American-made product. So make sure you head over there. Promo code Oreo for substantial discounts, savings, all that good stuff. It is Tuesday, October 21st, and we got a show in store for you today. I want to say thank you to everybody tuning in. If you could, please hit that like button, share this out, send it through email, however you get it out. But we appreciate everybody hitting the like button, and it really helps us out here. Let me jump into the comments here. Let me go over here first. We got Susan Spencer. We got Becky Boo. Julius is in the house. We got Trina in the house. Renee O, what's up? Darla. Who else is jumping in here? Old Uncle Bill. What's up, old Uncle Bill? B. Mikey with the beautiful American flag. Gotta love the red, white, and blue. Old Glory. We got Pixie. So watch your language in here today, guys. Texas Bigfoot. We got the whole group in here today. I want to say thank you. Newfie Guy 56, Saint Fan, Nola. Happy Taco Tuesday, Nola says. You know what? We had tacos last night, so we had Taco Monday. It was good, too. It was good. Just regular hard shell tacos. Kim, how are you doing? Kim says, like and shared. Thank you. We appreciate you. And let me go. Justin Good Earth and Barry D. Patriot. We got the whole crowd coming in. Let me go look over here. We got Gary Wade, Carol Burton, Damon Walker. Thank you guys for joining in. Kathy Richardson's in the house. Party Bonds is in the house. Darlene. And moving right along, getting all kind of comments over here. Let's see if we can get down to the bottom. Just want to say thank you once again for tuning in. We got some stuff to cover. JD Vance is in Israel right now. There's some things going on with the ceasefire, as you know, but he makes some comments. We also have an epic one of press secretary when she got a text from fake news, lying media. I think it was the Huffington Post, and the way she responded, and people are upset It's almost like the Trump AI meme that everybody loved. I started watching some commentary, and even some Democrats are like, you know what? He owns the media. He's funny. He's funny. And then we also got a video I didn't see before, but this was, I believe, in Boston. A guy wore a Trump inflatable outfit to the No Kings protest and was assaulted. We got that video for you. Also, a woman shoots and kills a suspect inside a Compton beauty supply store. This is why you always need to stay armed, folks. Stay strapped or get clapped, right? And we got a lot on the shutdown. We also got, looks like Bernie Sanders been making his debut on the weekend talking scenes and the Monday morning shows. We got some of that. Again, some shutdown stuff. President Trump hosting a luncheon today, and then just a little bit from Portland, Oregon. So we got all that to cover. And want to say thank you once again for tuning in. Let's get rocking and rolling here. So as I said earlier, a Boston man was charged for attacking a man wearing a Donald Trump inflatable costume at the Boston No Kings rally. Says Jonathan Silveria said he showed up holding an American flag to display his support for the president when suddenly he was getting attacked from behind. These people are just insane.
You.
Look at this. Pull this up on the screen right here.
Yo, really? You're gonna attack somebody in a costume? You get off. Get the off. You. Where? Yo, really? You're gonna attack somebody in a.
Now, this is the peaceful Democrats, the coexist. You know, what's funny? We were on our way to the coast this weekend. On Friday, we stopped in Kettleman City at the Valero really quick, and we pulled up, and there was one of those, I think it was a Subaru with lots of bumper sticker. On one side, it had a Colt sticker, and on the other side, it had coexist. And I was like, you know what? We just can't coexist with these extremists when they say coexist. But this guy went off. So he was arrested. I didn't see any updates. Maybe I'll look for that in between the next show. And since we're on No King, I like this. Listen to this person here, Paul Morrow, on the No Kings protest in New York City, how he described the people that were there. Very similar to how we described it. Take a listen.
Walking back, got stuck in traffic, and I jumped out of the car. Actually, I walked into it, and it was very colorful. It was peaceful. So I started taking some photos. A couple of salient points. Number one, the average age was the average age of New York City's July temperature. All right. It was just a Woodstock reunion. All right. That's what the thing looked like. And I'm sorry, that's what it was. And it was uniformly white almost entirely. I mean, there's some, of course not. It's not all, but it struck me that it was all old white hippies. A couple of things also, I think. It brought home to me the importance of Charlie Kirk, because the only way the Democrats are going to replace a vanishing demographic, which is what I just discussed, is the young people that Charlie Kirk got to and who now we understand are not going to be uniformly left, which is what the received wisdom had been in the past, because the left owned the teachers union and all of that. And the last thing I would say is just, while it was peaceful and while it was colorful and they were chanting and all sort of stuff, and the vibe was very sort of hippie peaceful, there were radical groups there everywhere. There was a heavy communist presence, socialism, revolutionaries, and everything was Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. Trump is a Nazi. Trump is the Fuhrer, constantly. And, you know, all I can say is if they don't get over their obsession with Donald Trump and him being a Nazi and him being a king and him being a dictator, they're never going to be able to get to the kind of policy that actually compels.
And I don't know if it's policy that they want. They want power. And we talked about this yesterday. You have these folks out there very, very few young people across the country. A very small percentage of anybody that Democrats like this term, people of color. Um, it was like the old white hippie generation. And that's not bashing people because of their age by any stretch. I don't care what age you are. The First Amendment was created for you to go exercise your free speech. But where does a party like the Democrat Party go right now? Currently, they have our government shut down with the Schumer shutdown. They're refusing to vote and pass a clean CR. And I think, what are we on? Day 20? Is it day 20, 21 of the government shutdown? And there is nothing that Democrats are saying that would lead any of us to believe that, other than their extremism, that's all they hold on to. They're not holding on to American values. They're not holding on to their coexist. They have abandoned so many. And like he mentioned, Charlie Kirk, man, these kids on college campuses finally had somebody that they could go listen to and have a dialogue with and not be called names because maybe they had a difference of opinion than Charlie. Maybe they had, maybe they agreed with Charlie and they couldn't express that in their current college format. They didn't want to be called a Nazi and everything else. And this whole thing, when you look at a lot of these protests, I mean, we've seen some older white ladies seem like they were just really bitter when we were in Grover Beach on Saturday. And you look at that and it's like, how is that appealing to the youth? And again, he makes a good point. Maybe not next year, our next election year, but I can honestly say, and we don't know how long we're going to live, but if that is your constituency, and that is the people that are going to go up and stand up for your party, the Democrat Party, they're not going to be around forever. We've seen walkers, we've seen wheelchairs, and again, not bashing those people. I commend them for getting out of their house. That was one thing that I beat the drum on is we need to make phone calls. We need to get involved, even if it means watching a live stream of our own city council meeting and sending emails. There has to be some involvement. And, but they were angry folks. And what they were angry about, you could tell exactly what channel they watched. You could tell that they probably had their thing on CNN or MSNBC. Now, this one was pretty epic. I'm going to show you a tweet. And this was from a, quote, fake journalist. And this was going to Caroline, our press secretary. And the blue is Caroline. Let me pull this off here so I can get that up and show you the whole entire text. So, the so-called hack from, I believe it was Huffington Post, said, is the president aware of the significance of Budapest? In 1994, Russia promised in Budapest not to invade Ukraine if it gave up nuclear weapons it inherited when the Soviet Union dissolved. Does he not see why Ukraine might object to this site? Who suggested Budapest? Thanks. She responded, your mom did. Your mom did. And he responds, is this funny to you? And she comes back and says, it's funny to me that you actually consider yourself a journalist. You are a far left hack who nobody takes seriously, including your colleagues in the media. They just don't tell you that to your face. Stop texting me your disingenuous, biased, and bullshit questions. Oh, man. She tweeted this out and she goes, put this up on the screen. For context, SV Date of the Huffington Post is not a journalist interested in facts. He's a left-wing hack who has constantly attacked President Trump for years and constantly bombards my phone with Democrat talking points. Just take a look at his feed. It reads like an anti-Trump personal diary. Here is my full response to his inquiry. Activists who masquerade as real reporters do a disservice to our profession. I didn't pull up his actual thing. Oh my gosh. Let's see. As a journalist, it's not my job to tell you who to vote for. As a journalist, it's my job to warn you that if we vote for Donald Trump back into office, it may be the last vote we ever cast. And he goes, and he has a book, The Useful Idiot. Yeah, this guy's a real winner. The press secretary is tossing out ad hominem attacks, hoping to discredit me and Huffington Post. So here are some actual context. I've been doing this professionally for a dozen years before she was even born. That's probably part of the reason. You're an absolute hack. You are the reason why this country is divided. You don't say it. I can go through his whole feed. Do you think anything Trump has done, anything, it would be looked at as good in the eyes of this person, no matter what it is? No, they don't give credit where credit is due. Again, it's Trump derangement syndrome. These people are absolutely miserable in their own lives, and they want you to be just as miserable, folks. If they can help divide the country, which we've seen CNN, MSNBC, Huffington Post, the Rolling Stones, all these places that try to do these hit pieces to make Trump look bad. We got him now. How many times have we got him now? I remember the whole first 4 years. We got him now. So-and-so is writing a tell-all book about Donald Trump. Well, yeah, that's how they grift. They're grifting off his name. It's just funny. So this person's an actual hack. But thank God we got a press secretary, right, that has the balls and the wisdom to tell the truth. Unlike our old press secretary, take a look at this. The video on the left will be from this month. KGP has been on CBS Morning Show. She's been going on the circuit, very similar to Bernie Sanders. And just listen to the difference here. What a little over a year makes.
We were always honest. You couldn't hide the fact that he was aging, right? And we saw that there were moments where it showed that he was. No one is denying that.
He is as sharp as ever, as I have known him to be in my engagement, in my experience with him. And I know when I walk into the Oval Office or see him on Air Force One, I have to be on top of my game. I do. I mean, and that's just kind of my engagement with him and how it's been for the past couple of years.
It's funny how all of a sudden now, well, you know, he was aging. He had his little slip-ups, but back then, his IQ was shooting somewhere around 400. He was bench pressing 335, 345 on a good day, running about, probably about a 5-minute mile, couple miles a day. How things change, right, guys? This is, again, this is the same people. If you go back to that same journalist at the Huffington Post, he would parrot all of KGP's talking points. No question about Biden's health. No question about the pardons. None of that. But thank God we have an administration that's loyal to the America First agenda. How about this one? We covered this. We did a little premium last night. We covered something we'll talk about today, but in that, we just briefly covered the Cincinnati police chief, Teresa Thiet, has been placed on administrative leave pending an internal investigation on the effectiveness on her leadership. This comes after she has said that criminals need to learn how to behave after 2 people were shot in downtown. She also recently shamed us, the people on independent media and everything else, when there was a big violent brawl, and which the social media outrage caused her to actually have to take action and arrest people that she didn't want to arrest, mainly because of the color of their skin. There's also a lot of talk about her anti-white bias. It says the city continues to face serious public safety challenges that underscore the need for stability at the command level. That was said by the city manager, Cheryl Long. It says, therefore, I've named Assistant Chief Adam Hinney as interim police chief. Our focus remains on maintaining stability within the department and ensuring the highest standard to our service to our residents. I have full confidence in interim Chief Heaney and the department's command staff to continue their dedicated work at this time. Take a listen to this. You guys
that we then have to try to manage as part of the investment.
And so my message to everybody, learn how to behave in our city, but especially learn how to behave in our downtown and our Fountain Square. And our officers will approach you if you start to behave disorderly on Fountain Square. Because these things sometimes start as a minor altercation and then evolve into something bigger. So do not come downtown, especially on Fountain Square, if you don't know how to behave.
Another topic I want to cover real quick. Media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event. What that does, that causes us some difficulties in thoroughly investigating the activity and enforcing the law. Because what happens, that social media post and your coverage of it distorts the content of what actually happened.
Showed the truth.
And it makes our job more difficult. Go ahead, right here.
Thank you. 2 questions. Where were the nearest officers?
In the central business section. They were working. They were both in vehicles. And like I said, they had to maneuver through the traffic.
My second question is, you had said social media, news media distorted the content of what actually happened. What exactly was distorted? I understand that there was multiple views of the video, but exactly what led up to this? I mean, what was distorted?
Yeah, so I think by the irresponsibility with social media is it just shows one side of the equation quite frequently without context, without factual context. And then people run with that. And then it grows legs and it becomes something bigger that we then have to try to manage as part of the investigation.
She was upset. If you remember, and I don't remember the whole story, we covered it extensively for like a week. But remember, the woman that's laying on the ground right there on the right side wasn't even offered medical. She wasn't interviewed or anything else. Police showed up, didn't make any arrests. It wasn't until, thankfully, independent journalists and some of the influencers and people like that on social media shared the hell out of these posts that anything was done. And it's just embarrassing. This next post says, she said, that social media folks were the irresponsible ones. She has lawyered up. She has lawyered up. It says just in, the Cincinnati police chief, who was just suspended after an investigation into the effectiveness of her leadership, has lawyered up. She makes $203,000 a year. That doesn't include all those perks, benefits, insurance, retirement. It says, and listen to what her attorney says. And I watched this. And look at how the attorney holds the paper, almost like he's just not good. Maybe he's just not, maybe he's a great attorney, just not good in front of cameras. But it's almost like he doesn't know what he's doing here. Take a look.
There is no justification for this action. Chief Thigi has done nothing to deserve being removed from her position. In fact, the city does not even claim to have cause for removing her from her job. The city has not identified a single action that Chief Thigi took or did not take that it claims to be ground for her removal. Chief Thigi stands before you today accused of no wrongdoing and having done nothing to deserve this action. The unfortunate conclusion we have to reach from these facts is that she is being used as a political scapegoat and a political pawn.
A political scapegoat and a political pawn. She is a portrait of what Democrats want in police chiefs. Doesn't put criminals behind bars. Doesn't arrest people, especially if it could be racist. I just, man, we've had a lot of female police chiefs over the last 2 years that we've covered that pretty much are in the same boat. Just absolutely crazy. Check this out. Let me pull this up right now. This is just great. As I said at the beginning of the show, let's see. Hold on. Let me figure out how I can get it up here. There we go. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted.
The Orange County Fire Authority saved homes in Dana Point.
Not what I want. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up the story of the woman that said FAFO. It's loading up right now. See if it's going to play. Man, their KTLA's website sucks. Let's see. It's going to play this stupid commercial first. Let's see. 10, 9, 8. We're getting there, guys. I had it all set up, and then it refreshed on me when it shouldn't have. So let's see.
Shot and killed a man inside a Compton beauty supply store. Witnesses say he was threatening customers and employees. Is underway after a customer shot and killed a man inside a Compton beauty supply store. Witnesses say he was threatening customers and employees. Deputies say the man followed the woman inside a shop, groped her, and became violent when employees told him to leave. He reportedly started throwing merchandise and threatening to kill customers. A second customer, fearing for everyone's safety, fired a warning shot before shooting the man when he turned toward her. Investigators are reviewing video and asking additional witnesses to come forward. No one has been arrested.
Perfect example of why, good on that woman for carrying a gun. It doesn't say, anything. Usually in California, that woman would be charged for protecting people. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure we'll see a breaking story. Woman, and it'll be crazy. Listen to this. Bernie Sanders been doing his little spiel. We need health care for all. We need to fight the oligarchy. But listen to this. Jon Stewart. He went on Jon Stewart, and this one says, Jon Stewart surprises Bernie Sanders with brutal facts about endless government spending on healthcare. We've talked about this. This is what the Democrats want. Listen to this.
But again, this gets to the Democratic solutions have never been to directly provide. It's always been a subsidy to a middleman. But what happens is when the government promises endless funds to insurance companies or private universities without any cost controls, and Trump seems to understand this, prices rise far beyond the rate of inflation. And we've seen it in tuition, and we've seen it in pharmaceutical, and we've seen it in healthcare. So my question is, will Democrats recognize the poison pill that they've often placed into well-intentioned policy?
Right. What they end up doing is coming up with very complicated proposals. You make $48,964.
Yes.
You will get this thing. You make $1 more, you finish the blah, 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 blah. Look, we have got to make it simple. In the wealthiest country in the history of the world, should healthcare be a human right? Yes, it should be. Should we have the best quality education in the world from childcare to graduate school? Yes, we should.
Right, but these are.
And how do you pass?
Let's get there.
All right, then the question is, all right, these are.
I'm writing this down, Sanders.
All right, the Republicans. You're getting violent here, you know.
You're
So call them out. This. Let's just pass another bill, get insurance companies, the PBMs, everybody else rich, which he called it, whether it's college, healthcare, all it does when Democrats do this is raise the price for everybody else, just like Obamacare. If you go back to when Obamacare was initiated and look at the cost of healthcare, it's like quadruple what it should be right now. Totally surpassed what inflation is. And all they want to do is keep doing this. That's why they keep saying, oh, well, hospitals are going to be shutting down. We were subsidizing hospitals. The hospital wasn't just in business, taking care of patients, making their money, being frugal with their money. No, they were inflating. They were taking your dollars to keep the, and you know what? If they need to do that, just say, hey, we're going to bail out hospitals. They won't tell you that. It's another reason why they like giving illegal aliens insurance, healthcare insurance in California. It wasn't just 2 years ago. 35% of the patients seen in Southern California were illegal aliens. 35%. You take away 35% of that money, which you taxpayers in California and around, believe it or not, across the country, people say, well, it's not federal dollars used for this. Well, if we got the money to pay for illegal aliens, then maybe the federal government shouldn't be sending us any money here in California, right? Because it's America first. I'm all about helping people out, but not at the abuse of tens of thousands a day coming across our border under Joe Biden, getting 5-star hotels, getting food, education, everything that we worked so hard for in this country and pay taxes for. There's also another one on Jon Stewart. Oh, no, I only put one up. Let me double check. How about this one? Listen to Bernie Sanders on The View, and like the man that owns multiple homes, Sarah on The View said, if Congress said we're not going to take our paychecks until we figure out, that would be the right direction, meaning if you can't pass a budget, you don't get paid either, right? Listen to Bernie Sanders and how he has to correct himself. He's a slimy one.
Be powerful, though, is if Congress didn't take their money while they were waiting. Because right now, it's hard to imagine it's incentivized. It's easier for the politicians in D.C. to go away from each other and say, we will win this way, while people are losing their paychecks. If Congress just said, we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction. I would
think that's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids there.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though.
They got people in Congress that can't afford to go without pay, but TSA agents can, Bernie? Is that what it is? other government officials, military members. That one right there. Well,
I think
there's people in Congress that just can't afford to do that. I thought that was great. And then how about this one? This one was interesting. On CBS, one of their morning shows, this one of the people on the set actually cooks Bernie Sanders over the government shutdown. And when Sanders doubles down and insists Republicans are murdering 50,000 people a year if the Obamacare subsidies expire, he calls them out for not wanting to make the case and let the chips fall. Watch this. This is excellent.
15 million low-income and working-class people off.
To reopen the government first. He can't guarantee the outcome, but you'll get the vote. Why isn't that no good?
Well, I'll tell you why it's no good. Right now, as I think everybody knows, our current healthcare system is broken. It's dysfunctional. We spend twice as much per person as the country, 85 million uninsured. We don't have enough doctors, nurses, dentists, etc. It's a broken system. What Trump did in his big, beautiful bill is to throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off the health care they currently have by massive cuts in Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. You know what studies show, guys? Let's talk about this. Studies show that when you throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off health care, 50,000 people a year will die unnecessarily. They don't have the money to go to a doctor. They have a chronic illness. They will die. And then on top of that, all over the country, in my state of Vermont, all over the country, people right now are receiving notices from their insurance companies. Their premiums are going to go up by 20%, by double.
So open the government and vote on it. Make the case.
Really? No. And let 50,000 people die if Trump vetoes the legislation, if the House doesn't deal with the legislation. You know what's going on right now in the House? The Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson, has given his people a 5-week vacation. They're not even in Washington, D.C. Before I vote on a bill that will right now allow 50,000 people to die unnecessarily, I want it absolutely clear that that will not happen, period.
But meantime, you could have the president is saying that the shutdown's a chance for Republicans to cut programs left and right that they don't like, that you like. So how long are you willing to let this ride for losses?
Look, I cannot allow, in good conscience, 50,000 people a year to die unnecessarily, and in my state and all over this country. Healthcare premiums. You think you're paying enough out there right now? Look at doubling premiums for 20 million people, sometimes tripling, quadrupling.
So you don't think you can win a vote?
How do we get out of this with both sides blaming the other? Still, nobody's talking.
Yeah, they're just pointing the finger.
I think that's what's so frustrating.
It's funny because that guy said what we've said since the beginning. This budget is a clean CR, which we passed 13 times under Joe Biden. This is the ploy. They're hoping to make Trump look bad. They want to sow chaos and again get the American people, the ones to be affected, and say, well, Trump's president, it's his fault. When in reality, they could pass this bill today and tomorrow they'll be negotiating on that subsidy that they created and they set to expire at the end of this year. It would have already expired if we wouldn't have had COVID. They used COVID money to extend it. Again, you taxpayers, again, it's a type of government-run healthcare. I wish they would end all Affordable Care Act. I truly do. They need to go back to the drawing board. Healthcare is not easy. Healthcare is not easy. Get all these illegal aliens deported. That's costing you billions and billions of dollars a day to take care of them when they have a home country with hospitals and doctors. That saves money. Cut the red tape. Get rid of the waste, abuse, and fraud. We see the waste, abuse, and fraud all the time in the medical field. And come to something realistic where, again, doctors can provide a service at an affordable rate. And this is frustrating for me. You guys know I'm a diabetic. I haven't had some of my medicine for about 9 months now. Next month is actually open enrollment. And I'm going to try. I just need, I always figure, I just give me a couple months of healthcare. I got a pretty good doctor that I've had for when I had my private insurance. But me as a self-employed person, You know how much they want monthly for me to be on any type of plan that's worth a damn? It's like $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Ridiculous. Once again, they don't care about people's health. Who was that right there? Mater TJ says 150,000 are dying from fentanyl overdoses a year. Do you see Bernie Sanders talking about that? You don't see Bernie Sanders talking about that. California is full of fentanyl. We got fentanyl corners. You can walk around San Francisco, Oakland, LA, and pick it up on any corner. Oh, well, these people are dying. Trina says open enrollment. I don't think it started October 15th for California. Ours is different from everything else because we are a retard state. But I'll double check that. If that's the case, I'm going to look because I just want to get some medicine, and then that would be great. That would be great. And again, I want Trump to move forward on why shouldn't certain drugs, especially things for, I mean, it's crazy how many people have diabetes now. I was talking to somebody the other day, and this person was like, I don't know, 21, 22 years old, perfect health, you know, probably like 5'5", 125 pounds. And I seen that she had a glucose monitor. I have one on. And the only reason I have one on is because somebody who gets them prescribed to them don't use them and gives them to me so I can monitor my blood sugar. And these kids, you see kids with these insulin pumps now at the schools. And again, I know we're trying to make America healthy again, but one of the medicines that I was on that really helped me out would have cost me $3.99 a month, I think. If you don't have insurance. And then it's like, I don't know, I think $50 or $30 a month, $50 a month if you have insurance, at least from the insurance that I used to have. And it's like, man, there's got to be ways to make this stuff affordable. And I think Trump and his administration are working on that. But again, Bernie Sanders worried about 50,000 people dying. Yeah. That's no different from the rationing of care that happens in many communities, especially communities with a high illegal alien population that, guess what? If you're in California, your health insurance is covered. You don't have to pay any premium. You don't even have to do any of that. How about this? Speaker Mike Johnson talking about the shutdown. House Republicans are working around the clock to help constituents navigate the Democrat shutdown, while Democrats like Senator Ruben Gallego and Senator Mike Kelly are busy making TikToks and staging publicity stunts at the Capitol. Instead of filming content and cashing their own paychecks, my Democrat colleagues should focus on voting for a bill that would help real Americans get their paycheck. Take a look at this.
From Arizona, where are they? They're in their district. They're in their districts working. They're sitting. Wait a minute. They're sitting. Oh, hey, Mike Mueller. They did their job. They did their job. They're sitting in their basement. Come here, Mike. You're holding the American people hostage because you want to have a policy debate. Yes, we have policy debates here every day.
You know, the American people are watching all of this on their screens. What's your message here?
Yeah, Cheryl, thanks for showing the video. That's Exhibit A of why the House Republicans are doing much more productive work in their districts right now than being here, because Democrats are walking around the halls trying to create publicity stunts. I mean, you just saw that. That's 2 senators from the state of Arizona staging a publicity stunt outside of my office. They should be on the floor voting to reopen the government. If they would do it, you just need 3 more. We could get the government open and we could get Rep. Grijalva from their state administered the O2. This is absurdity. They are engaging in political theater. That's what all the marches were about on Saturday, funded by Soros and co-sponsored by the Communist Party of the USA, by the way. This is the problem that we have with the modern Democrat Party and with the people who are serving here. They are afraid of their far left flank, and they are not doing their jobs. Okay. And real Americans are being hurt because of it.
Afraid of they're going to lose their foot soldiers, the radicals, the Antifa, the communists, the people that they call on when they need violence and destruction in the streets, like the Summer of Love in 2020. are outside the Portland ice facility. They can't lose those folks. That's all they have. That's all they have. Take a listen to this. This was Senator John Thune, Leader John Thune, and he makes it clear exactly. Take a listen. We're not going to listen to it all, but take a listen to Senator John Thune up there.
It's been 3 weeks since Democrats shut down the government. Since Democrats chose to put the demands of far-left activists ahead of serving the American people. And over the last 3 weeks, Mr. President, it's the American people who have borne the consequences of Democrat shutdown. Thousands of flights have been delayed. Nutrition assistance for millions of needy families is in jeopardy. Military families are turning to food banks in unprecedented numbers. The Democrats are apparently willing to prolong the suffering until their far-left base is satisfied. Mr. President, we've given Democrats here in the Senate numerous opportunities to end the shutdown. We've held now 11 votes on a clean, nonpartisan, continuing resolution to end the shutdown and the pain that comes with it. And they said no every time. We give Democrats an opportunity to consider the bipartisan defense appropriations bill, something that I might add passed the Senate Appropriations Committee 26-3, in an overwhelming bipartisan vote. We gave them an opportunity to consider that here on the floor, so we can at least protect our national security and pay our troops. Democrats called it unacceptable and a distraction to pay the troops. We even offered to give them a vote on a health care proposal of their own design if they vote to reopen the government. The answer again was no.
Exactly.
Mr. President, I don't know what Democrats are looking for. But if they're looking for Republicans to give in to their hostage taking, they should think again. I've been very clear since the beginning. On the first day of this shutdown, I said Republicans would be perfectly willing to discuss the issues Democrats are raising, but only after we reopen the government.
So everything Democrat wants, other than the shutdown, Democrats want the shutdown, you have the Republican Party said, let's open the government, let's get these people paid, let's get back to normalcy, and let's discuss this.
I said, and I quote, quoting myself,
of Obamacare and the subsidies. Let's discuss it. But again, we have to open the government first. Listen to Rep. Steve Scalise. Again, what are Democrats doing? They're using this as a fundraiser optics, especially the No Kings. You've seen senators and congresspeople out there at the No Kings protest. And then they sent emails to raise money. Listen to Steve Scalise right here.
To shut the Senator Ossoff thinking about all this. Senator Ossoff thinking about all this. Another Democrat said, Senator Ossoff's calculation is, quote, do I vote to open the government up and get crushed and can't raise a single dollar of low dollar money? Or do I vote to shut the government down and get $3 million from online fundraising? That's disgusting. Senator Ossoff is more concerned about getting low-dollar donations from maybe some donor in California who's going to click on an email and give him $100 for his reelection. And so he's causing suffering on tens of thousands of people in his home state of Georgia. Senator Ossoff ought to send that tainted, dirty money back if he's raised $3 million off of the shutdown, off of the suffering he's caused, just so that he can get some more money from radicals around the country. Go look at his finance report during the shutdown. The low-dollar donations that he's more concerned about getting than opening up the government, which is the right thing to do, because they're scared to death of their base, because they want to keep getting low-dollar donations from the most radical members of the Democrat Party.
What it's about, guys. They're using this as they're hurting American citizens, TSA, all these people. They don't care about our service members. They never have. Listen to what Fetterman says. Now, Fetterman is a vote yes to reopen the government, and he's been kind of critical of his party. But listen to him here.
Are you surprised that vote after vote, it's just been 3 Democrats time and again who for this bill? And does that surprise you?
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day, you know, and I'm just saying, and it's not entertaining. That's a great movie, but this is shitty. And now it's like now real damage is going to are now touching the lives of regular Americans, and we all lose, and it's embarrassing to our allies and to our enemies abroad.
It's embarrassing. It's like Groundhog Day, he says. Just insane. Just insane. And this was Speaker Johnson again saying the same thing. They're terrified of the radical element of their party.
Distract you from the facts. The American people would have an open government if Democrats were not terrified of their radical base. That is the headline. Every single one of you should write that. That's the ugly truth. The Democrats are not governing in good faith. They're covering their own tail. They're out here decrying the so-called forthcoming healthcare crisis, they say. It's the one that they themselves created. The Democrats created Obamacare. They're the ones that created a subsidy with an expiration date. They're the ones that did all of this. Republicans are trying to fix it. And they're trying to blame Republicans for the crisis they themselves created. They cry foul when we won't bail them out of their own shutdown. I don't have anything to offer, as I've explained. I don't have any partisan priority I can pull off of the CR to make it more palatable for them. There's nothing to negotiate. They just have to do what they've always done in the past, that they did 13 times during the Biden administration, and they did as recently as March of this year, to open the government so that people can get their services and their paychecks. Distract you from the facts. The American people would have...
Let's not forget how much President Trump's went through. He's taken for WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, which supplies nutritional assistance to low-income mothers, went out of his way to pull some of the tariff money so that WIC could still continue to operate. Worked with some of his close friends to get military paid, doing everything he can to ensure Democrats don't destroy these people and make them homeless. And that's what Democrats want. They want the economy to suffer so they can blame it on Trump. Well, look at, we got all these unemployment numbers going up. Well, yeah, you guys are shutting down the government. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Yesterday we talked about Trump's construction of the big, beautiful ballroom and how Democrats were just pissed off. I love this. Gavin Newsom put ripping apart the White House just like he's ripping apart the Constitution. This was his. And there's one thing that Democrats, especially Gavin Newsom and California Democrats, we've covered it a few times. But it was kind of great that Trump shot back with this, or at least Trump War Room did. Says your Capitol renovation costing taxpayers $1.1 billion, 4 times more than my privately funded White House ballroom, which cost taxpayers nothing. And getting this exclusive look. I want you to watch this because I actually watched it yesterday. We've covered this. We've talked about how they're importing the tile from Italy instead of local suppliers, how they're making the California Capitol, I guess you could say, a sanctuary for those people that are elected, where they have private hallways so they don't have to interact with press. This is not the people's house in California. This is the tyrant's house. I want you to watch this, and it's just absolutely epic.
Why will a new office building for California lawmakers cost as much as an NFL stadium? That's a question we've been asking California's legislative leaders overseeing the Capitol Annex project. Live Copter 3 flew over, getting this exclusive look at the progress crews have made. The $1.1 billion project is supposed to cover costs for the office building, parking garage, and a new visitor center.
But it will also include private hallways for lawmakers that allow them to avoid the public and avoid us, the media. KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala has been digging into this plan and has an update.
This new office building in Sacramento is going to be one of the most expensive buildings in the United States. And yes, California taxpayers are footing the bill. Even though the lawsuits against it have been over, the California legislature, which is in charge of it, continues to keep details in the dark. Steel beams are up and construction is underway on the Capitol Annex project. The $1.1 billion construction and counting will eventually house the offices of lawmakers, the governor, and lieutenant governor. It'll cost about as much as Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara and more than the Golden One Center in Sacramento. But we still don't know why or how the money is being spent.
Motion passes.
The legislature's Joint Rules Committee overseeing the project still won't give a public update, even though lawsuits against it have been over for 6 months. No one with Joint Rules would do an interview with us on Monday, but officials confirmed there are now no plans to construct the visitor center on the west side of the historic Capitol. But even without that part, they said the budget for the project overall won't change. Does that make sense to you?
No, it doesn't.
Dick Cowan is the ex-chairman of the Historic State Capitol Commission and is part of the group that sued over the project.
Among the many questions we have is, what's the project going to cost now? Has it continued to rise as it did over the last years? When will the project be complete? They have all that information, probably in a monthly report they receive from the builders, the designers, and the management team.
But information has been tough to get. As we reported last year, more than 2,000 people involved in the project signed non-disclosure agreements, legally requiring some lawmakers, government officials, and others to keep quiet about what's going on. The cost estimate has more than doubled since 2018, and the NDAs are still in place.
I think this building is already a tremendous strain on taxpayers. And at the end of the day, it's been gone about in a way that has lacked transparency at every step of the way.
The main way we're able to get information lately is through leaks. The latest, the new building will have private hallways for lawmakers, allowing them to avoid the public and media after they debate and vote in hearing rooms. Multiple sources told KCRA3 the leader of the state Senate, Mike McGuire, confirmed this to a room full of lobbyists earlier this month. He would not do an interview, but confirmed this in a statement. He called the hallways, quote, safe corridors, claiming they have them now in their temporary office building. He said they are, quote, designed to help ensure the safety and security of lawmakers, which is even more important today, given the events that unfolded on January 6th at our nation's Capitol building and the active threats public officials continue to face.
I think this is the height of hypocrisy. You are using taxpayer dollars to build a taxpayer-funded facility, and yet you are going to design it in a way that shields you from the public, and shields you from accountability.
Now, with those private hallways for lawmakers, we've asked for diagrams, documents, anything that can shine a little more light onto what exactly that entails. We are still waiting to hear back. Project leaders say they do plan to give a public update at some point this year. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA.
Non-disclosure agreements. The addition is costing more than those arenas they showed you. Think about that for a minute, guys. $1.1 billion. And they want to hide these Democrats, and they bring up January 6th. You know what? Something has to happen quickly in California. They are destroying this state faster than anything. And again, they don't want to be accountable. They're not giving us any information. That's taxpayer dollars. We're spending another close to $300 million on a bogus election so they can take representation away from conservatives in an already gerrymandered state where 40% of the state voted for President Donald J. Trump. And we only have 17% of the representation in the House. Think about that for a minute. Gavin Newsom has no room to talk. He's a slimy piece of For news.
Officials also
Not going to go to the Gus jar today. Just insane. But non-disclosure agreements, everybody, because they don't want you to know how bad it truly is. Speaking of that, Trump hosted a little luncheon today, and he talks about the ballroom in the back. And listen to what he says. And again, you are not footing the bill for this ballroom, and he mentions that. But listen to how he says it.
You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it. So it's the opposite. But it's going to be one of the most beautiful ballrooms anywhere in the world.
Lack of money because it's me paying for it. How about this over here? This was talking about Senate rules, and I thought this was absolutely epic. You're starting to see some more confirmations go by, and he gives some credit for that. This is something to be happy about.
Pivotal changes to the Senate rules last month. As a result, this is what you did, the unprecedented obstruction by the Democrats. We've confirmed more than 175 public servants, people that are phenomenal, to keep posts. And that's just been over the last couple of weeks. It's an unbelievable thing what you've done, John, all of you together. So working closely with me and House majority, the Republican Senate also gave us the largest working class tax cut in American history. And you passed the Lake and Riley Act to throw illegal alien criminals out of our country. You passed the Genius Act and the Take It Down Act with the support of our wonderful First Lady. She got actual support from the other side. It was bipartisan. I think Rand didn't vote for it again, but
I think Rand didn't vote for it again. He loves going after Rand Paul. But that's absolutely epic. And then we had JD Vance take a listen to this over in Israel, talking about the ceasefire deal.
Look, I think
and everything
that we are
that's
1
going
week
on there.
into
Take a listen
President
to this.
Trump's historic. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have you. Look, I think that we are 1 week into President Trump's historic peace plan in the Middle East, and things are going, frankly, better than I expected that they were. This is a very, very tough situation. You have two peoples, two enemies who have fought a very tough conflict against each other. You have a terrorist organization on one hand that murdered a lot of innocent people. You've got an Israeli army that was defending itself on the other, that has learned a lot over the past couple of years. And then, of course, you have an innocent civilian population in Gaza that's caught in the middle. But we're here at the Civilian Military Cooperation Center, which we are announcing the opening of. You have Israelis and Americans working hand in hand to try to begin the plan to rebuild Gaza, to implement a long-term peace, and to actually ensure that you have security forces on the ground in Gaza, not composed of Americans, who can keep the peace over the long term. So we've got a lot of work left to do. This is going to take a very, very long time. But I think Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and Admiral Cooper behind me have done an incredible job. I want to say just a couple of quick things, and then I want to turn it over to Steve Witkoff. Number one, the Israeli government has been remarkably helpful in this. I want to thank them, thank our Israeli partners, and all the folks, particularly who are working hand in hand with their American friends here at the CMCC. And number two, I want to say that there is this weird attitude I've sensed in the American media and the Western media where there's almost this desire to root for failure, that every time.
Root for failure. We see this every time conservatives or Trump get behind something that will be good for this world.
Something bad happens, and every time that there's an act of violence, there's this inclination to say, oh, this is the end of the ceasefire. This is the end of the peace plan. It's not the end. It is, in fact, exactly how this is going to have to happen when you have people who hate each other, who have been fighting against each other for a very long time. We are doing very well. We are in a very good place. We're going to have to keep working on it, but I think we have the team to do exactly that. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have you. Look, I think that we are 1 week into
that. It's like with anything. Yeah, the Democrats, if the stock market goes down, they're bragging about it. They want to see the stock market down. They don't want to see America succeed under Trump. We're going to talk about something that Anthony Cabasa put out. He put exclusive Trump administration to create nation's first ever National Guard response force to begin training troops for a nationwide civil unrest, with some troops specialized in chemical, biological, and nuclear scenarios. Troops, listen to this, troops must be operational no later than April 1st, 2026. Let me say that again. Trump admin creates the first ever National Guard response force. And he put up this paper here. I want to put this on the screen and we're going to talk about it. This is it. Memorandum for all states, territories, and the District of Columbia. The response is, it says, subject National Guard response force implementation. It says reference interim national defense strategy DTD 2025, White House Executive Order 1439, which is additional measures to address the crime emergency in the District of Columbia. It says Secretary of War, National Guard Domestic Civil Disturbance and Law Enforcement Training and Domestic Response Force. And it goes through. It says this memorandum establishes the standards for creation, implementation, manning, training, and equipping the state-based National Guard response force in support of Secretary of War direction pursuant to the reference A and B. Requirement: states will train, equip, and make the NGRFs operational no later than April 1st, 2026. It says NGRFs are required in all 53 states and territories. The District of Columbia has a unique solution set directed by the Secretary of War. NGRFs will train in civil disturbance operations and prepared to deploy approximately 25% of their force within 8 hours, 50% of their force within 12 hours, and the full response requirement in 24 hours. It says personnel and equipment. Each NGRF will be manned using tiered approach, capped at 500 personnel. The requirement will not exceed 10% of state or territory authorized in strength. And it talks about the training they're going to go through and civil disturbance training requirements. Look at this. Crowd management techniques, de-escalation of force techniques, handheld radio communication, domestic civil disturbance training, control force formation movements, proper use of baton and body shields, graduate response techniques, and employment of non-lethal weapons, taser, and pretty much OC spray. So this is something that is coming out today. And I think this is interesting. I think they see something on the horizon where we're going to have national unrest, whatever that is, whether that's a Supreme Court decision, whether that's Trump enacting his duties as commander in chief. This is going to be interesting. And they want them ready and trained by April 1st, 2026. That's 6 months away, folks. That's a little less than 6 months. We got November, December, January, February, March, April. So this is huge. I'm glad that the Trump administration is doing something like this. I know once this gets out, I haven't seen a whole lot on social media yet. I seen this about, I don't know, we've been live an hour and 8 minutes. I seen this maybe an hour and 20 minutes ago. I added it to the show at the end. But this is huge because Democrats and what we've seen in Portland, in Los Angeles, encouraging rioters, encouraging the violence. Look at LA, the destroyed Waymo cars, how many highway patrol cars were absolutely totaled because of the Democrats in the streets following elected Democrats' orders. So this could be a big one. We're going to keep our eyes peeled on this. And then I'm not going to do that one right now. Check this out. This was from Nick Sortor last night from Portland, outside the ICE facility. It says, Portland police just provided cover to Antifa terrorists as ICE Portland, who were beaming spotlight in DHS agents' eyes and shielded them from DHS. So you literally had Portland police protecting Antifa and other domestic terrorists out there. It says Portland police are literally aiding a terrorist group. It says a DHS agent then came out and confronted Portland police, calling them out for allowing terrorists to hide behind them. She's literally running behind you guys, the DHS agent said to Portland police sergeant. Portland police pretended like they saw nothing at all, although they were just standing 15 feet away from the assailant, which DHS had marked with countless pepper spray balls, lights, and lasers over the course of several minutes. Take a look at this.
They were trying to shoot a guy that was running away. Nice aim! I love that! Whoa!
Look at that person running. Portland police stand by and watch it all go down.
Shining something in our...
Beams from agent's eyes on rooftop. Right there, right next to him.
And they're running for cover behind Portland police. Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me.
Obstructing federal agents from doing their job.
Shoot everybody else to shoot one person. The bullets you got, come on.
We should be allowed to hear what the fuck they want.
Nobody told us anything, so we're standing there. We don't know what's going on.
Oh my God, is this
It's just like she's literally running behind you guys. And we don't know why she's running. So. Nice. Nice aim. I love that. Whoa. That AR is really nice. Well, they were trying to shoot a guy that was running away.
Look at them walk off. Keep looking back. They're worried. They're worried. And Portland police is right there covering for them like they always do. And guys, I'm saying, I'm tired of people saying, well, there's some good cops in Portland. If you are aiding and abetting a terrorist organization, you are trash. You should be arrested as well. Those cops are nothing more than worthless sacks of you-know-what. And that video proves it right there. I said that when I was down there. I said that when all I seen was conservatives getting arrested for defending themselves. And it's just absolutely laughable. Listen to this one right here.
Nobody told us anything. So we're standing there. We don't know what's going on. Don't come out here with us like that.
He said, don't come out here at us like that. Then do your damn job. You're getting paid by the taxpayers and you are worthless scum.
Don't come out here with us like that. We have no idea. Nobody told us anything. So we're standing there. We don't know what's going on.
The National Guard can't get there quick enough, folks. Bottom line, I want to see it. I can't wait. What else do we got here? How about this? Speaking of illegals and ICE, this was excellent breaking news. We getting some records under the Trump administration.
And deportation numbers hitting record highs since President Trump's return to office. His administration booting more than 515,000 illegal migrants so far. 1.6 million illegals have left the country on their own, with immigration agents arresting 485,000. DHS saying that Trump is set to shatter the U.S. deportation record by the end of 2025.
Hey, I don't know about you guys. I voted for that. And all these little weak sauce cucks and hippies that are out on the streets protesting aren't doing a damn thing to slow them down. It's not even a distraction. But Hey guys, just a reminder, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit that like button. We are 100% viewer funded, guys. If you would like to help us out, keep the lights on, keep the bills paid, we would appreciate it. I want to say thank you to all those who have donated and kept us going over the years. If you would like to donate, any amount helps us out. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have a GiveSendGo. For those of you who use GiveSendGo, it's givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And then if you do mobile or online banking, you can go to, we have a Zelle link. It's purepatriot559@yahoo.com. All these links will be up on the screen here in about 30 seconds. And we will be with you later today in about 3 hours and 45 minutes at 3 o'clock Pacific for show number 2, covering all the highlights and everything else that's been going on today. Again, thank you to the mods. Thank you to Oreo Army. And again, donation links are coming. And we will see you guys here in a few hours. God bless.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land.